all people, please.
I have muted everybody. What I have to do is that to disallow them to unmute themselves. Josna madam, you can just a minute. Now the problem is if you are muting everybody, nobody can unmute on their own. Unmute yourself, Josna madam. Kindly unmute yourself.
Yeah. Everyone, I hope you can hear me clearly.
Yes, little bit the voice is slow. Yeah, you're going to start it now.
Okay. So welcome everyone to the inauguration of the Maxwell Leadership Council in collaboration with FAIME and Govind Capital, the first English program, English learning program. And I'll answer a question that you had, Colonel John, about how many people we can teach when we teach online. Some of us, Dr. Suhail Ahmed, and we were teaching NDA aspirants English. And there were only 5 students in some classes, which are the classes which I found the most effective, because I think for teaching English, it's very important to be able to have, as Dr. Ashraf said, a two-way communication and to be able to give assignments and get responses from people.
I think we'll, Josna madam will answer those questions only at the end. So let's follow the program schedule.
Sure.
And we'll come to the questions of anybody, maybe at the end once we get the time.
Great. So to introduce our panel, our Maxwell Leadership Council is a non-government international organization with offices in India, US, and Singapore. It's registered in India as a Section 8 not-for-profit company. Our mission is to foster and promote value-based, social-sensitive leadership amongst all possible sections of society, expand and build up leadership abilities and skills to excel in their chosen areas. We have 2 forums. One is the Forum for Leadership Opportunities for Women, FLOW, and the Forum for Advancement of Indian Minority Education, FAME, through which we're also doing this program today. And the Maxwell Leadership Council intends to achieve its objective through innovative educational interventions delivered by the best, which we have many of you here with us today. We have conducted several national and international workshops and seminars and conferences since our inception. So I welcome all of you here today, and thank you so much, Professor Rizvi, for always leading us to achieve more and to help more people to come onto our platform and to help us to reach more people. Today, I'm delighted to have with us here Mr. Hassan Ghias, who is a consultant from Texas and who is the chairman of FAME and the Maxwell ELT program. I'm delighted to introduce Mr. Ghias. He has an MSc in management from London Business School and from the London University. He's an MBA from the Faculty of Management, Delhi University. And he has a BSc Honours in Physics from the Aligarh Muslim University. He has also been at the Sloan Fellowship Program, the London Business School, Program for Management Development, Harvard Business School. And he's an Advanced Leadership Fellow from the Harvard University, a Sloan Fellow, a London Business School Fellow, and London University. He has 39 years experience in Saudi Arabia with the Unilever JV partners, 26 years of which in positions as VP, SVP, EVP, and CCO. 7 years in India with blue chip companies, DCM, Voltas, and Hindustan Lever. And he's worked with community organizations like International Indian School System, KSA, member of the Higher Board, the Management Committee of Indian International School, Jeddah, and he's been chairman of the Managing Committee, Indian International School, Jeddah, and a member of the Saudi Indian Business Network. And we're really privileged to have you here, Mr. Ghias. Without wasting any more time, I'd like to invite you to take the floor and to address us.
You've completed sharp at 8:05. Can you unmute yourself? Yeah, please unmute yourself.
Okay, here.
You can try and mute. Yeah. Please again unmute yourself. Unmute kar le aap.
Am I audible now?
Yes, we can hear you. I mean, at least it's a
Okay,
little
so
slow.
it's a bit slow. Oh, I wonder why.
The voice is a little slow, but then yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
We can hear you.
Madam Jyotsna, thank you very much for introducing me to this group. I welcome everyone here to this very important initiative, the inaugural program for the language training in spoken English, which I think is a very significant step forward in the right direction. My thoughts take me back to the year 1965, when the entire Hindi heartland was rocked with anti-English agitations. I was at school in Allahabad, and that city saw a lot of violence. Cars were bashed because the number plates were in English. Watches were smashed because the numerals were in English. Shop signs and road signs in English were vandalized. And at St. Joseph's, my school, we did fear that English medium schools might be attacked. Now, today, nobody would imagine an anti-English agitation anywhere in India. With globalization, it's a settled matter that English is the global language and sine qua non for progress in a globalized world. So that is where this important initiative by Maxwell and FAIME assumes great importance and great significance. Now, in the time allotted to me, the best I can do is to take you through, highlight the importance of English through my own experiences in academia and in my career. Now, I am an alumnus of 4 universities, 2 in India, Aligarh and Delhi, and 2 overseas, London and Harvard. And none of this would not have been possible. Particularly my overseas education would never have been possible without proficiency in the English language. So that has helped me in very good stead in my academic attainments. But beyond that, it has been of enormous help in my career. Now, when I finished my MBA, I can say without exaggeration that I was selected for every single job I applied for. And I think one of the main reasons why I could be so successful was because I could marshal my thoughts and articulate them well in English to impress the interviewers. And I think that was a tremendous benefit, gave me an early advantage in life. In India, I worked for top corporates, Voltas, Hindustan Lever, now Hindustan Unilever. And then I had a long stint overseas. And I rose from being a management trainee to top corporate positions in C-suite, being a C-suite executive. And again, of course, there were many factors responsible for this, but I think a very significant factor was my communication skills in the English language, through which I could interact, connect with others, be persuasive, present cogent arguments, and come to proper conclusions. So English has helped me a lot. I was very fortunate to get this opportunity very early in life to gain proficiency in English. But today, technology is a great leveler. You do not have to go to an elite English medium school to be proficient in English. You can become proficient in English sitting in the comfort of your own home. And this initiative by Maxwell ELT, English language teaching, Maxwell and FAIME, this is just to do that, to teach you to be proficient in English online, and they have put together an excellent program which brings together a very good curriculum, best-in-class teaching methodologies, and excellent teachers. And so you have the entire mix that is designed for success. But then, as they say, that self-help is the best help. So how much you get out of this program and how much you absorb will be dependent upon you. And for that, you'll really have to make an effort beyond the formal online instructions that you get. And here I have some tips that you may find useful. While you are pursuing this program for 3 months, my strong suggestion is that speak in no language other than English. At home, to your friends, to your family, you'll struggle. You will find it challenging. People may even make fun of you, but pursue it with single-minded purpose that you want to get the best maximum out of this program, and you will get the maximum only if you make sure that you speak in no language other than English. The boarding school I went to, we were threatened with caning if we spoke in any language other than English. And the school administrators were very candid and clear that your parents have sent you to this expensive school to learn English. And if you wish not to, then there are much cheaper options available. Don't waste your parents' money, go find another school to go to. So conversational English depends upon practice, and practice needs effort. The other suggestion that I have to you is to the participants is to read often and read aloud. Reading aloud to yourself will help you modulate and control your voice. And that itself is a very important skill, because not knowing how to speak English is good, but then if you want to be effective as a speaker, then you need voice control and voice modulation, and reading aloud is a great way to do it. My other suggestion is that you will come across many words, the meanings of which you will not understand. Now, you're fortunate that there's Google search, which gives you the meanings. In my time, there was no Google. So I literally kept a dictionary at work, at home, and even when traveling, which was never more than an arm's length away. I could never do without an English dictionary, because whenever I would come across a word that I didn't know, I would want to know its meaning. And that's the way to improve and increase your vocabulary. Beyond that, pay special attention to pronunciations. Now, in my time, you had to listen to people who could pronounce correctly to know the correct pronunciation. Today, Google search has the facility for correct pronunciation. So while you learn the meanings, it's also very important that you learn the correct pronunciation, because I know so many people who know very good English, but still mispronounce words. So my suggestion to you is look up a word, look up its pronunciation. When you look it up once, the meaning you'll forget, look it up second time, a third time, a fourth time, a fifth time, and you'll remember. So now I must conclude, because I don't have the luxury of time. And all I want to say is that I welcome everybody, the participants particularly. I think you've embarked on a very, very important journey in your life. And you can make a difference to yourself by acquiring the required capabilities in the English language, which will hold you in very good stead through your education and your career, and particularly in a globalized world. Thank you very much for listening to me attentively, and I wish you all the very, very best. Salam alaikum.
Thank you very much, Hassan sir. Yes, Mazen Joshna, I mean, you have to unmute. Please unmute yourself. Yeah, yeah. Please.
So thank you so much.
Problem when you unmute everybody. Yeah.
Yes, thank you so much, Hassan Ghiasji, for giving us such a wonderful introduction and such a wonderful start to our program. And now I'm delighted to invite our founder of the Maxwell Leadership Council and of this whole forum, and the person who sets the direction for all of us, Dr. Ashraf Rizvi, to introduce him quickly. He's the founder, director, and chairman, as you all know, of the Maxwell Business Council. He's a management expert, professor, and author with more than 2 decades of teaching experience in IIM Indore and IIT Dhanbad. He trained more than 25,000 professionals from UAE, India, Malaysia, Singapore, Muscat, Norway, and many other countries who have benefited from his high impact lectures, programs, and workshops. And currently, of course, at the Maxwell Business Council, this is an independent organization with the mission to make quality management education accessible to marginalized sections of Indian society through innovative management programs and other programs. And through the Maxwell Leadership Council, this Section 8 not-for-profit company, he is going to make sure that people have the opportunity that others haven't had in the past. Before this, he's been the director of the Jaipuria Institute of Management, Lucknow, and the Jaipuria School of Business. He's had a stint of more than 15 years at the IIT Dhanbad as associate professor and so on. And he also teaches a variety of courses to PG and doctoral students. He's been a corporate trainer. He's an executive coach par excellence. As we all know, I think he coaches and directs all of us as well. We've learned so much from him. And he conducts management and leadership development programs, as he has for the public sector and in the past for private sector companies like LG India, ONGC, Alstom, Gale, Thomas Cook, Honeywell, Birla, Aisha. I mean, there's a long list over here. I think all of us should follow him on LinkedIn to know all about him. He's a prolific writer. He's authored 11 books. I've been reading some of them. 5 of them have been published by McGraw-Hill Education. The national bestseller, which I'm actually reading right now, Effective Technical Communication. It's really amazing. I recommend you all read it. So we are so delighted and so privileged to have you leading us, Dr. Rizvi.
Thank you, Jyotsna Madam. Thank you so much. For a little longer than probably we had to cut short a little bit of it, make it shorter for everybody. Anyway, thank you, everyone. Thank you for coming. I must first of all thank Professor Aslam, the former Vice Chancellor of IGNOU, to be here. He's our chief guest today. And I also thank Alok Ranjanji, the former Chief Secretary of Uttar Pradesh, to be here. He's a guest of honor. And also thank Brigadier Syed Ahmad Ali, the former Pro-Vice Chancellor of Aligarh Muslim University, to be a guest of honor here. Also thank 4 people who have agreed to be part of the panel discussion. We'll make panel discussion a little broader. We can all take part in the discussion, but I thank Arvind Kumar Singh, an IAS. He was the district magistrate in currently in Basti. Currently, he is a member of the CAT tribunal in Uttar Pradesh. I also thank Madam Professor Dr. Shazi Shah Jabi, who is a professor of communication and head of department in BITS Pilani, Dubai. She's here with us. She's also part of the teaching team and also part of the panel. I also thank Mr. Harendra Kumar, who is a senior general manager in Reliance, to be here. I thank Mr. Rizwan Khan, the CEO of this footwear division of Apollo International Limited in Delhi, to be part of this. I thank, I can see many faces, like I see Shahzad Hussain Sahab from former IAS and a very eminent civil servant from Maharashtra. Thank him. Abdul Qadir Sahab, I see from him from Karnataka. Bedar, the founder of Shaheen Group. I see Nurul Islam Sahab, the founder of Alameen in Calcutta, West Bengal. I see Dr. Hai from Patna, who is the founder trustee of Maulana Azad College of Engineering and Technology. A lot of faces which I know many of them. My friend, Dr. Colonel John Chenetra from Maharashtra. Let me give you start with a very small example of why English is important. I remember there was a professor, I will not tell his name, in IIT, with a terrible English. So whenever a student will come and tell, sir, my father has come to meet me, what should I do? And he will say, first go and finish your father and then come to me. And And not only that, everybody started laughing, but he had a big problem. I one day told him that, sir, why don't you improve your English? And he was very angry with me. And he said, Rizvi साहब, आप लोगों ने देश को गुलाम बनाया है, आप चाहते हो कि गुलामी चलती रहे. मैंने कहा, तब आप then don't speak English. If you speak it out. He said, my English is better than anybody else. And one fine morning, when we have a director who was actually DK Paul, he was looking for his wife. So he asked Sharma ji, have you seen my wife? And Sharma ji said, yes, she has just passed away. And DK was really happy because he was very unhappy with his wife. But he found his wife very alive and talking. And he told Sharma ji before everybody that kindly improve your English. Because it's what a director's advice. So, English is important for three basic reasons. One, when you look at the door to opportunities, English definitely opens it. I remember that you can have everything, but if you don't have English, look at the kind of examinations. Every exam in India must have an English component, and objective English is there. It is essential, whether it is CDS, whether it is NDA, whether it is SSC, whether it is IAS. You have now CSAT IAS, where English is compulsory. Hindi is not. Hindi is there, but it is in the mains, not in the preliminary. In the preliminary, it is CSAT, where English is an essential component. If you want a government job, despite Hindi being a national language, English is compulsory. Go to the corporate world. You can't really enter unless you know English. I'm pretty sure. I have been part of the interview panels for more than 30 years. And I find that, the moment you speak good English, at least you have made a good impression. Maybe you are really nil in subject knowledge. I find a lot of people, it's a world of packaging. First they will actually see how you are able to present yourself. So that's number one. The idea of this, I'm thankful again, was Hassan Ghayas Sahab gave that if students learn good English or ability to speak well, probably they will be able to do well in other areas. So we designed this short course of 3 months. 3 months is 72 hours. But can you teach someone the ability to speak good English in 72 hours? My answer is yes, you can. If out of these 72 hours, at least you give a lot of opportunity to the person to speak and get corrected. If you all the time go on talking, if it is only teachers talk, nobody will learn anything. They will not be able to speak. It's like how to drive a car. You may learn you can read 20 books on driving, but the moment you are given a car and you are on the road and you are saying, now drive, and you will start trembling. Because you say, oh, you have read all the books about driving. You are an expert in this, but still you can't drive a car because it's really a skill. And a skill can be only learned by practice. So we have designed the program in such a way. That's why when Colonel John asked the question that, this is an online course and you can, have any number of persons, I said that in English, it's really difficult. Suppose I have 100 people. Can I make them speak English? Difficult. If I give 1 minute to everybody, 100 minutes are needed even for them to speak. But if I have 20 or 16 people, I discuss with many people. For example, Dr. Sohail, who is the program director, he's not only a PhD in English and linguistics, he is a CELTA trained from Oxford University. And when I was discussing with him, he told, sir, say the best number is 16. But we have made it okay, 16 to 20. So that every day when the class is there, everyone is given an opportunity to speak 3-4 times. So talk about yourself, talk about your country, talk about whatever you want, talk about a movie, talk about Salman Khan, talk about Juhi Chawla, no issue. But talk about, the more you talk, the more you are said what is the problem with you. Because practice is the key to this. That's why we have designed it in 72 hours. It is participant-centered learning because participants are the key to it. We have about 8 professors here to teach them. We don't have enough batches now, but we will definitely get more and more batches. Anyone you know, you must recommend them this course because despite being online, despite being virtual, it's a very specialized one-to-one course. So only 16 people, the teacher will be actually one-to-one teach everyone. So everyone will get enough time to practice. I will request anyone who is running institutions, tell your student to join this course. It's a kind of opportunity. And we have now 8 professors from different parts of the world. Many of them are really teaching free. Not everyone is teaching free, but many of them are teaching free. And we have made a structure of this. So I'm sure that we will have the first valedictory function after 3 months. We'll provide opportunities to many of the students who will be able to speak well on this. And we will also ask them to record this. So the idea was that you must learn English because number one, it will help in your career. Number two, it will open the world to you. The world is a global village now, and it will open the world to you. You can communicate to anybody, whether it's American, whether it is Japanese, whether it is Chinese, whether it is French. You will be a global citizen in real terms. And the third very important reason is it definitely will give you some social recognition. Whether we like it or we don't like it, people who speak good English are actually looked at with more respect than we should actually do. I mean, that may not be. And in fact, sometimes it may be difficult. Like I remember a professor who did PhD from India went to do BA from England. And he went to meet his professor. His professor asked him, how did you come from India? And he said, I came on a sheep. So the professor looked at him and said, you came on a sheep? He said, yes, sir, I came on a sheep. And the professor said, it's impossible. How can you come on a sheep from India to UK? He said, yes, sir, it was a very big sheep. It was moving on water. He said, bloody hell, that's a ship, not a sheep. I mean, in English, probably pronunciation, accent will make a lot of difference in meaning because English is an accented language, but still we can learn it. I mean, I know you can't be a Shakespeare in 3 months. You can't become somebody, an expert in it, but you can at least be able to take this journey on your own. If you want to be a better and better, now you can be a self-learner. In 3 months will make you able to talk reasonably well. And if you are not able to talk, there will be an examination. You will not be given a certificate unless you actually clear that examination. You have to actually give a lecture. You have to give a presentation. If you fail in the examination, what will happen? You will have to repeat the course. And again, since we are not charging you any fee to repeat the course, it would be a good idea for you to repeat the course. So you can always, but don't think that it is unending. Because, you are the member of the first batch and you are also the member of the last batch. Don't make it that way. But definitely, you can learn for these 3 reasons. The process is practice speaking, which will be recorded. And then also, you will get the best teachers. I can assure you all that. All those teachers who are free, for example, Professor Dr. Saji Shajabi, who is here, she's a professor and head of the Department of HSS in BITS Pilani, Dubai. She can't be accessible to ordinary students, but then she has agreed to teach free. And there are many here who have actually agreed and sponsored themselves that they'll teach a free course. And that's why this course is completely, it's almost close to free. There is no fee. There is, of course, a registration charge to make you focused. It's only 250 rupees a month. So for 3 months, it's a kind of registration we have kept, we discussed, and then we decided this, let's keep it this. So the idea is, can we teach thousands of people through this? I think we can. If we have more and more people who are ready to interact with the students, who can teach them well, we can have more and more batches. We can take, in fact, as many as we can. And we are not selecting a student. They're only taking that, okay, there is a small minimum level we want the student to have. So with these words, I will once again thank everybody. And I'm keen to listen to the chief guest and the guests of honor and the other speakers who have been invited here. At the, when we will have panel discussion, I will open it for anybody. I mean, we'll request I will request, in fact, Dr. Haisab to speak a few words. Dr. Haisab is an educationist. He has been running educational institutions. Dr. Hai, can we have some words from you, sir, before we invite other speakers? Can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute yourself, sir? Unmute.
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
yes.
Please.
Professor Rizvi and friends, Assalamu alaikum and good evening to everyone. It's really a pleasure to be associated with this inaugural function. And I congratulate Professor Ashraf Rizvi and all concerned for being able to get such a galaxy of talent here to be able to address this gathering. Professor Ghayas Saab and Jyotsna ji mentioned, and Professor Rizvi mentioned about the importance of English. And I think in today's world, English is the way to start moving. But I'll just say one thing, sir, that when I was studying in school, and the English which we were taught, it was a Jesuit school, and the English which is being spoken today and used today, there is a difference in it. It's become more practical, perhaps, become a little more less sophisticated from the Victorian English which used to be here in Dickens. But the fact remains that without English, you cannot move forward. And sometimes I visit the madrasas just to encourage the boys there. And I tell them that even if you are a madrasa student and you claim to be someone who is able to take the message of Islam to the world, the first thing we should do is learn English, because that is the language by which you can convey this message. So congratulations to everyone, and congratulations to the people who have been, boys and girls who have been selected for this program. And I'm sure that after 3 months, when you assess them, you'll remember this day as a golden day in your career. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Yes, Ms. Jyotsna madam, all yours. Again, you have to unmute yourself. Yeah.
Welcome. Alok Ranjanji, who is a distinguished IAS officer, our guest of honor. He's a retired 1978 batch IAS officer from the UP cadre, and he's been holding the office of Chief Secretary for the government of Uttar Pradesh, the highest ranking civil service official in the state government of Uttar Pradesh for over 2 years. He's also held very important portfolios, including infrastructure, industrial development, and agriculture production commissioner. And he's an alumnus of IIM Ahmedabad, 1977. And he's been someone who's really helped the cause of industry and entrepreneurship. He's mentored and helped so many entrepreneurs and organizations. I myself am very grateful to him for helping me with the Mango Festival. Please, Alok Ranjanji, do share some words with us.
Alok Ranjanji, kindly, you have to unmute yourself. Kindly unmute yourself. Alok ji, yes.
I hope I'm audible now.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Well, the chief guest, Professor Aslam, the distinguished panelists in today's inaugural function, Professor Rizvi, the moderator of today's function, Madam Jyotsna Kaur Habibullah, the faculty, and the students who are participating in this program. Well, let me say it's a great honor for me to be here with you all today, and I'm very happy that this kind of a program, a 72 hours, a 3-month-long English-speaking program, has been designed for the students with a specific objective in mind to train them for better future opportunities. Well, I have been following the career of Professor Dr. Rizvi for a long time, and I have noticed that he is the person with a lot of innovative ability. And this Maxwell learning that he started with a specific objective of working for the marginalized sections of society, for those who are not getting better educational opportunities, and to give them high quality educational opportunities. I think that is a very laudable objective with which he's working. And I think this particular program about English speaking is one more step in this worthy direction. Having said that, I must say that there are always, sometimes people have a debate on this issue, whether English is important or it is not important, or why not Hindi, or why not your own mother tongue. In fact, even when this new education policy 2020 was announced, there was an interesting clause in this new education policy which said that as far as possible, they said the word as far as possible, till class 8, the medium of instruction should be your mother tongue. And there was some kind of a controversy which erupted over this, with saying that why not English, why mother tongue? And very soon, the very next day, I saw the Education Minister, Government of India, came out with a clarification, which he said was that we have said that, but that does not mean we are against English. In fact, English should very much be a part of the whole curriculum, And we value English education, and we will see that the boys and girls who study in our schools are proficient in this language. So I think that made it very clear that even at the highest level, at the highest echelons, the importance of English language is being realized. And now, as in an initial talk, I heard Mr. Hassan talk about the 1965 anti-English agitations and all. Well, yes, I too remember in the civil service, there was a political party in Uttar Pradesh at one time which was so anti-English that they banned everything possible in English. Your name plates, whatever you could not even use a word in English while noting down in the files. But incidentally, the same political party, when it came back into power a second time, they had changed completely, and they gave value to English education. So that they realize that English education is important for the people to go forward in their career, and that's why they give importance to it. It's a gateway to the future, the gateway to a much better future, English language. That is absolutely clear. And as was pointed out by the earlier speakers, there is no career at all in which you can succeed if you do not have good command over the English language. Let us say MBA, CAT examination. I did my MBA from Ahmedabad, I remember, got through CAT. But to get through the CAT examination, the 3 sections, the first section itself is known as verbal reasoning section. You cannot handle the verbal reasoning section well enough unless you have got good command over the English language. You don't understand the passages that come out there. You won't be able to handle it properly at all. So that is a big disadvantage. You can't get into a proper B school if you don't clear CAT very well. Then going over to the corporate sector after that also, as was pointed out, in the interviews for the corporate sector, later on in the course of your job, English is the medium which is used for, everywhere. If you are not proficient in English, you will not be able to communicate well. You don't make good presentability your ideas well. So you don't impress people more. And therefore, it affects your career progression. Absolutely. So that is how important it is. Leave aside the corporate world. Let me talk of the civil service, of which I am a member of the IAS. I was till I retired, and I'm a retired IAS officer now. But okay, I was in UP cadre. UP cadre Hindi was the language used. In regional other cadres, they use the language of that area. But moment you come to Government of India, the language used in the files, in the notings, in the communications, in the meetings, and everything out there is English. And if you're not good in English, then you cannot make a career for yourself in Government of India or reach the top level, secretary level positions which are available in Government of India if your communication skills in English are not good. So these are just 2 areas, and then take any other area. If you want to go abroad for your studies, as was pointed out, you cannot if you're not good in English. Even anywhere in academics also, you won't be able to make a mark if you're not good in this language. So therefore, it is so very important to be skilled in English and to be proficient in English. Mind you, today people are realizing this. Even in primary schools, in government primary schools, English is not given so much importance actually. Even somewhere they start from class 3, somewhere from class 5 and whatnot. That is why even I've noticed in my career, civil service career, that even in the remotest villages, private schools are coming up, mushrooming every day. And people are sending their children to those private schools and not sending them to the government primary schools. So one day I tried to find out the main reason for this. And to my surprise, I found the main reason was English. They said that in those private schools, they are teaching English, which is not being taught in the government primary schools, even though I personally thought the standard of education in government primary schools was at times, and even the teachers there were at times better than the private schools in the nearby hamlets, but they were teaching English. And so English as a passport to a better future is being realized now in every section of the society, every section. It is not an elitist concept anymore. Sometimes some people argue that it's an elitist concept or English, language of the elite. No longer. It is for progression in your life for anybody, anywhere. And therefore, it has to be realized by everybody. And therefore, I think there's so much importance of this particular program. Talking about English speaking as such, you see, there are 3 things. You can read English, or you understand English, or you can speak English. Well, the first 2 are easier. If you develop your language, if you have good reading habits, you read the English language newspapers, you read magazines, you read a couple of books, keep reading, then you can read and understand and comprehend English. Then if you can also understand what the other person is saying. But the most difficult part, of course, is English speaking. Why it is difficult is that we naturally have a tendency in India, whatever his mother tongue is, he will first think in his mother tongue and then try and speak in English. That's where the process of translation is going on. Until this process of translation goes on, you cannot be fluent or proficient in English. It should come naturally to you that you start thinking in that language and start speaking, then you are fluent. If you don't do that, then you won't be fluent or proficient in your communication in English language. So that, I think, that is why the spoken English course is so very important, because even though person may be knowing English, and that what happens in most of the people who are studying in our schools, I've noticed, they know English, they understand English, but when you ask them to speak, they are not fluent at all. They start, lapsing into the mother tongue after the first two sentences, or they start mispronouncing words, or they start making even elementary grammatical errors because they get nervous. They're not confident of themselves. So that, I think, has to be taken out. And students have to feel confident about their ability in this particular language, and they must realize that for growth in future, this is what they have to do. Now, how to go about this? I think there's a well-designed course, as Professor Rizvi has said. There will be recordings, there will be spoken English, each student will be concentrated upon. I think that's very, very essential, because each person will be asked, will be made to speak. He has to speak. You can't understand or speak good English unless you get into the habit of speaking. So this, I think, course will enable people to speak as much as possible, so that they gain proficiency of the language. Then I would suggest to students things like listening to English language in TV channels, listen to those debates, listen to the news that comes from that, listen to YouTube channels, go and listen to TED Talks and other talks which are coming in English language. The more you listen to people speaking in English, the more you will be able to, get it inside you. And then practice. Sometimes it is even better to stand in front of a mirror and speak. If you speak in front of a mirror and speak to yourself, you will be able to, become fluent in the language and understand. So I'm not going to take too much time. I know there is a shortage of time, but I only want to say that spoken English is very different from understanding English or knowing grammatical English. Spoken English can only be mastered by speaking English. There is no other way. By speaking English, by conversing in English, by listening to people talking in English. So that is the process that you have to undertake as a self-help kind of an exercise continuously. In our homes, maybe many of us would not be having an atmosphere where English is spoken. But then we may have some friends. We may cultivate such friends, cultivate some such groups where we can converse in English. And that helps us, to grow, to learn the language better and to move forward. So I will end with this now, complimenting Professor Rizvi on a brilliant initiative that he has taken. Keep it up. You're doing so well, Professor Rizvi. I'm proud to, be part of your inaugural session. And I'm sure these students will learn a lot, and many more will join such programs and have a better future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alokji. Thank you so much for your kind words. In fact, the best part of this is that there's no age limit here. And we have many people who are 60 plus who have joined this course.
Yes.
I mean, there are many doctors, engineers. So there's no there's no age that we have kept it. No age bar. And even no qualification bar. Yes, Jyotsna, madam. Over to you, sir, madam. Again, yeah, unmute yourself. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Lok Ranjan, for giving such inspiring words to all of us. And as Mahatma Gandhi said, learn as if you were to live forever. So I think enjoy living in the moment, but remember that learning English is going to prepare us for the future. And I'm delighted with this to welcome Brigadier Syed Ahmed Ali, our guest of honor. He's the former Pro-Vice Chancellor.
Madam Jyotsna, before that, just I just will take 30 seconds to introduce you, Jyotsna, madam, because she has not been introduced and many of us may not know. So Jyotsna Kaur Habibullah is a very eminent lady. I mean, I know she is the executive director of Maxwell Leadership Council. She is an alumnus of St. Stephen College, and she has done her MBA from New London University. She has been a CEO of many organizations. She has been conducting several programs, especially she's also our president of FLOW for women development, and she has been doing a lot of programs. So sorry, Jyotsna madam, I missed to introduce you. Now we can invite Brigadier Saab.
So may I just quickly introduce Brigadier Syed Ahmed Ali, who's been the former Pro-Vice Chancellor of the Aligarh Muslim University, Aligarh, and his astute and visionary leadership there. The university achieved the #1 rank amongst all universities in India as per the Times London ranking of 2017. He is currently the director of the Jahangirabad Educational Trust Group of Education. And he's had a distinguished career in the Indian Army, in 35 years. And he has served as a member of the US Executive Steering Committee, contributed immensely in the promotion of bilateral military ties. Illustrious career in the Army, has been a recipient of the Sena Medal, and at the Kargil War, he's twice awarded Chief of Army Staff Commendation for exemplary services and various other honors. He's a voracious reader and an eloquent speaker, and I'm delighted to invite Ahmed Ali to address us.
Yeah, please unmute yourself. Yeah.
Okay. Good evening, Professor Aslam Saab, my school senior, Mr. Hassan Ghayas, Mr. Alok Ranjan, Professor Rizvi, the distinguished panel who is listening to me, and my dear students. Welcome to this fabulous course. Ladies and gentlemen, most of us come from Hindi or Urdu background, and we take pride in saying that our language is Hindustani. The transformation from this language into English is tough but not insurmountable. Most of us listening here have done it, and so can anybody who is self-doubting here. Please remember why we are insisting that you must learn English. You must learn English for the simple reason that your mother tongue may be Hindi or Urdu, but your rozi roti ki zuban jo hai wo English hai. Don't ignore that. If you know good English, be rest assured that your rozi roti will be also good. And if you are handicapped in that, then you'll be a mediocre all through. There are 4 skills towards learning any language. The first is listening. The second is speaking. The third is reading. And the fourth is writing. I know we had a cook next to our house who worked in an Air Force officer's mess. Simply by listening to the officers of the Air Force, he started speaking English. He could not write a sentence in English, but he could speak. Listening is very important. But what is happening is that in our school education, particularly in India, it is the reading and writing which is being less stressed upon. So long as you are grammatically correct, so long as your vocabulary is strong, you get good marks. But in the long run, when you go in for a test like TOEFLs or IELTS or things like that, what is required of you is a mastery over listening and speaking. If you can speak well, then you are going to do well. Therefore, please understand that all 4 facets of learning a language is equally important. You would be aware that out of all the languages in the world, the United Nations accepts only 6 languages as its official languages. Though there are 10 more languages which have put a claim, which includes Hindi also. But in English, the emphasis is on Oxford English, and that is the British English. I have seen on the road from Delhi to Meerut, number of academies which have come up which say American English. Ladies and gentlemen, I sincerely advise you that if you are going to learn English, learn British English, which is also called as Queen's English. Do away with this yup, yeah, yes. It's not done. It's not acceptable. Therefore, if you are appearing for interview and the moment you say yup, be rest assured that you have been given a pink slip. You will not be taken. So please try to understand that English is a language spoken by 1.2 billion people. Though Mandarin ranks first, but English, if you combine the first language and the second language, works to 1.25 billion people in the world who are speaking English. The second language is more popular. English as a second language is more popular. Just in our case, we all speak Hindustani, Hindi, but then we also speak English. Why is English beneficial for you? Firstly, it is in business. If you are doing business, it is extremely important that you should be confident about your English. Otherwise, you'll be running to somebody to draft